Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. It's clobbering time. That's where us nerds, we nerd out doing nerdy things with nerdy friends. Where this week we're gonna have a fictional battle between Batman 2099 and Batman Beyond and Spider-Man 2099. As always, this is an open invite show, so here's the link. I guess I'll star that. There you go. There's a star. I hope that means it's pinned. I never really check on YouTube. So we got Matt Barr says, send me the link. Matt, I sent you the link. We were just a little late because I was talking to somebody and it was a lot of fun and I lost track of time. That's the way I am. I'm a scatterbrain. And Eric the Guapo is scolding me for being late. Yeah, last week I was a couple of hours late. And again, here is the link. As always, this show brought to you by Fund My Comic, Heroic Tales #1. It's available now. It's being printed as we speak. I paid for all the printing on Monday, so you could check out this comic. It is happening. And we got Marcus. Hey John, I can't be in. I have to pick up my dad for the airport. I thought my sister would do it. Doesn't she understand the importance of its clobbering time? Pick up your dad at the airport. Marcus, you got to get your priorities straight. Nah, I understand. Gorilla Mar, what's up, everybody? How you doing, Gorilla Mar? It's clobbering time. My nerd show where we talk about who would win in a fight. Who has battled out before? Let's see. I want to put the link in a couple of chat rooms, see if anybody wants to show up. I'll talk the whole show because that's the way I am. But it's just more fun to have people to goof around with and argue with and have fun with. So let's see, where is my I don't know if did you hear my stomach just make noises? Where? So anyway, how's everybody doing? This is riveting, a lot of fun. Okay, I guess my Twitter group is gone. That's weird. Oh well, that's weird. I guess it got nuked. I had a group of like a whole bunch of friends and everything that we shared links in. Oh, here's another one. All right, this is an old one. If this one's still active, but whatever. Anybody want to pop in? Anybody want to talk comics with me? Anybody want to battle it out? Feel free to come in. The link is pinned. So that is weird. I didn't realize that was gone. Okay. So my comic is very limited. I'm still very much a newbie. Well, we all got to start out. Somewhere. No sense in shaming anybody. So I might as well talk about my comic for a second, and then we'll. So this is Heroic Tales. It's still available on Fund My Comic. Fund My Comic is going to be my home going forward. This is the wonderful cover by Renzo. This is my variant cover by Pat Broderick. Oh my God, I love this. I love both. This is the back cover. Everybody's going to get this. This is a variant cover by Michael T. Gilbert, the legendary artist behind Mr. Monster. This is just a whimsical Silver Age look at my comic is. I'm embracing like Bronze Age aesthetics, and then Michael T. Gilbert went back a little further to like DC Silver Age, and then this is some examples of the interior art. I never get tired of looking at this. You could get a coin, you could get a glass, and then these are stretch goals. So these I had six. I actually had 7 cards, but I had 6 cards made up. 4 of them got unlocked. No big problem, because now that means I got more cards to show for the second issue campaign. So I'm going to stop this, and then I'm going to present the Indiegogo. This is going on Indiegogo right now. This is I should hit add to stage. So this is my campaign on Indiegogo. The only difference is, we got the Renzo cover, we got the back cover, but we got this beautiful Mike Gustovich cover. Ask me tomorrow what's my favorite. They're all my favorite. I love Renzo's cover. I love Mike's cover. I love Michael T. Gilbert's cover, and I love the Pat Broderick cover. All of them. It's just so much fun. Everything else is the same, just beautiful interior artwork, and you could get the coin, the pint glass, and the same cards. The cards are done. The cards are in my hand. I got the box is right behind me, and like I said, I just paid for the printing. I actually talked to the printer on the phone Wednesday, today being Friday, just to make sure everything is all right. I should be getting the proofs any day now. Oh man, that just made my stomach hurt. Get the proofs. That's really, I got to go through those with a fine-tooth comb and make sure everything is okay. So, all right. We got a couple people watching. Again, Matt, send me the link. I sent you the link, private message, check Twitter, and then the link is also right here. So I sent you the link. I just enjoy this so much better when there's somebody else in here. And, I'm filibustering until somebody shows up, but you know what? Maybe nobody's going to show up. Let's see. Anybody a fan of? Oh, that's why my group changed their name. Okay, so there you go. All right, so there you go. That's all I could do. All right, so let's talk about this. I envision it's clobbering time. Matt Barrett actually helped me come up with this idea. That's why I was excited that he would come in. We were just talking about, like, don't you remember when you were a kid, you teenagers, you're in the comic book store and you're like, that way, Aunt May could beat up, Commissioner Gordon. And you're like, what are you, crazy? Aunt May can't beat up Commissioner Gordon. And you just fight it out. You argue it out. I love that. I love that. I worked at a comic book store. When I'm big like this, it just makes me look more bald than I am. But anybody work at a comic book store? Anybody work in a comic book store? Did you have these things? So I just thought wouldn't it be fun to fight it out? I forget what it was. It was a Saturday night. I don't think I was on my channel. I think I was on somebody else's channel. And me and Matt just started to goof around. And I was like, yeah, let's call it It's Clobbering Time. And I was like, there you go. We're gonna start this. And the very first It's Clobbering Time was the Hulk versus the Flash, because there was a guy at work, an apprentice at work, was just like, John, who would win, Hulk versus the Flash? And we just made a game of every time we passed each other, we would like, no, the Flash would win because of this, the Hulk would win because of that. It was a lot of fun. You'd pay to see that fight, Aunt May versus Commissioner Gordon. Aunt May would win. Aunt May's got to be like secretly the most like she's a watcher or something, because this frail old lady has survived old age. She survived every ailment. She was thrown off bridges. She's just, a feisty old lady. So I don't know. What does Commissioner Gordon survive? Getting beat up by the Joker? Big deal. That's nothing to Aunt May. So anyway, let's I'll start with Batman Beyond, and I hope other people show up because I know Batman Beyond better. So I'm going to bring up an image of Batman Beyond. And there we go. So here we go. So there's Batman Beyond. So he's Terry Cavanaugh, and he's the protege of an old Batman. So Bruce Wayne is old. He's got like a neck brace like I was wearing up until last week. And he's just still wants to fight crime. So he gets this young, no, not Terry Cavanaugh, Terry McGinnis. Is that his name? Yeah, Terry McGinnis. Terry Cavanaugh is somebody else. And he just trains him, and he's high-tech Batman. People are responding what's going on. Live if you want to join. Oh, he's popping in. How you doing?
Hello, everybody.
Hey, turn your mic down just a little bit.
Okay, 1 second.
So this, if you don't know what's going on, this is It's Clobbering Time, where we have imaginary fights between imaginary characters. And this week, last week we picked Batman Beyond versus SpiderMan 2099. So I was just about to run the history of Batman Beyond. Are you familiar with either one of these characters?
Yes, I am. Is this better?
Yeah, that's a lot better. The first one was just
Okay.
it was like a Sonic.
So we're doing Batman Beyond versus Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah, who do you know better? Who would you like to pick as your champion?
Oh, I got to go with Spider-Man 2099.
Okay, so I was talking about Batman. So I'm going to just do a little bit of history of Batman Beyond, and then I'll give the floor to you for. Thank you for showing up. I don't like when I'm by myself doing this.
Oh, you're welcome.
So Batman Beyond, like I said, old man Bruce, he's seen better days. In the comics, he had this neck brace like they introduced in the Kingdom Come with Alex Ross and Mark Waid. So Batman's he's seen better days. So he gets Terry McGinnis to don this high-tech bat suit. And back when Batman Beyond came out, I guess the buzzword, the cool word was nanites. So the suit has nanites. So nanites might as well be magic as far as comic books are concerned. So he's got these glider wings. He's got all this equipment built into this lithe outfit. And I got to admit, the outfit is just cool. It's got that Bruce Dini, Paul,
didn't he steal the suit at the first?
I'm sorry?
Didn't he steal the suit at the first?
Yeah, he stole the suit at first, kind of the same origin as Scott Lang Ant-Man. And then Batman, saw some moxie in him or whatever and forgave him and whatever. And I just remember the cartoon. Are you a fan of the Batman animated series, the Batman Beyond
series? Yeah. I know all about this.
Yeah, I think that, to me, they're some of the best Batmans ever. Like I said, good.
I really enjoyed it when they did where Batman from the past ended up meeting, the future, and they both told Terry to shut up.
Right.
I thought that was cool. I really liked the idea of Terry finding out that Terry was a genetic clone of Bruce, and all that. I really thought it was really good. The animation was so good in this. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Just great. Waller.
Yeah, Amanda Waller. I was joking before you came in here, like a ridiculous fight. I said, remember when you were a kid and you just fight in the comic book store? And I said, you remember who would win in a fight? Aunt May versus Commissioner Gordon. So everybody's responded to my throwaway comments. Yeah. But Aunt May versus Amanda Waller. And I made the joke that Aunt May is secretly the most tough character in all of comics, because this woman survived old age. She survived every ailment in the world. She survived not getting her medicine. She survived being thrown off buildings. So
I will tell you the truth. The best character idea that Marvel ever did was the one above all, and he's the thin, old, homeless man. I was like, that is perfect, for him. And then, of course, the other one was Jack Kirby, incarnation when the Fantastic Four met him.
Right. When the thing, quote unquote, died and went to heaven, and so Jack Kirby.
Yeah. I really like both of those. But no, with Terry and them, they really did a good story. They did close up some stuff with, of course, Tim Drake and, of course, Jason Todd. Not Jason Todd, but what's the other one? No, it was Tim Drake. That's the one that got messed up by the Joker.
Right.
And, of course, Barbara Gordon taking over her dad's position and stuff like that. I really liked how they did everything.
Yeah, and I have to say, I got all the comics too. The Batman Beyond, and then Batman Beyond Unlimited, and they had like a future version of the Justice League. I really, really liked it. I am such a big fan of the Bruce Timm, Paul Dini Batman animated series. Then it went into Superman, and then it went into the Justice League.
Oh yeah,
I could rewatch those.
I love those. I love those. I'd watch them all the time.
That is, as much as I'm a comic book person, and I know this is blasphemy, that is my favorite iteration of Batman.
I do, and also you got the voice actor. I'm sorry he's gone, but man, he was so good.
That is the voice of Batman. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I don't care what anybody says, but that was the voice of Batman.
So I'm going to bring down Batman Beyond, and I'm going to bring up Spider-Man. Let me find a good picture of. Now, I don't want action figures. I want a cool picture of yeah. These are all action figures. So let's get one that's not an action.
Yeah, just go with comic.
Yeah. Here we go. Okay, so StreamYard.
Well, first off, Rick Leonardo, or Lenardi, I apologize for butchering your name. He was the artist for the book run. I mean, fantastic. He had done X-Men. If you don't know, he had done X-Men back in the past. Just before, I think Silvestri took over, he was doing it then. I've got the books, but I can't remember the numbers. But on this, Marvel was trying this 2099 launch. And out of all the 2099s, I thought the Spider-Man was the best one.
I agree with you.
I really did. Doom was okay. Punisher was Ravage was pretty good. X-Men was just, come on, you could have done a better job. But Spider-Man 2099, they really put a lot of work into it, especially how he became Spider-Man. It was different than what happened with Peter Parker. It was still a genetic experiment and everything. I loved the suit. I loved the action. You know, I mean,
was it written by Peter David?
Huh?
Was it written by Peter David?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so there you go.
So I mean, you have this team.
Hire a good artist, hire a good writer, and you get a good comic book. Go figure.
I've always said on a comic book, you need a good writer and a good artist that work hand in hand together, and you have a successful book. And that's what you had. This book was so good, and this Spider-Man. I wouldn't say he was not as strong as Peter was, because everybody keeps forgetting just how strong Peter really is, because you've never seen it. You've never seen it really in the movies, but in the comic book, he was strong. You know, it was just, but this gentleman here, and I can remember his name. Hold on, I got his name right here.
A lot of people forget it.
Miguel O'Hara. Miguel O'Hara is the character.
Miguel O'Hara, yes.
Is the character, and he does such a good job as Spider-Man. It's just, I mean, he has everything that Parker had. I mean, I'm just saying, I think he was more agile than Parker, but he wasn't as strong. I think there was a trade-off between the two. But the run was great. The artwork was just phenomenal. The storytelling was phenomenal. But I give him the edge over Batman Beyond because of his natural powers he's got, because Terry's was all in the suit.
Right.
And I think when you break down to it, he's got a little bit more strength and a little bit more stamina and agility than Batman Beyond.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to remember. Do you remember any of the names of the villains that Spider-Man 2099 fought?
Hold on. I've got the wiki page open.
He's got the wiki page up there. But I remember Batman Beyond had a couple of cool villains. He had Shriek. And he had Indelible Ink, which was just like right out of the spirit. I love that name. Like every once in a while, I get a name that I just get jealous. That's such a good name. And I can't help but think of this fight let's think of it as like, how would Batman fare against Spider-Man? So all we're really doing is taking like variations of Batman versus Spider-Man. You know, what do you got? We got a bunch of people watching the chat. What is your take on a Batman versus Spider-Man? How would that go?
Batman versus Spider-Man. Are we talking the Bruce Wayne versus Parker?
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne would just annihilate Spider-Man.
Bruce Wayne would beat Spider-Man?
Oh yeah. Because for Bruce, first meeting probably not, but after second meeting,
well, that's the stereotype. Is once Batman learns you,
you're done. Your history.
Yeah, Spider-Man main villain was the evil corporation Alchemex, and if I remember correctly, wasn't Alchemex like
that was the company he was working for too?
Right.
It was a genetic.
All the 2099s, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was a genetic. That was a genetic company.
In the original Marvel handbook of the official handbook, I can't even read anymore. Peter Parker could lift 10 tons. Gee, that's 20,000 pounds. Geez, that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's the most agile person on earth.
Yeah, he was incredibly strong.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This question that this came up even in the comic store when we were kids with Prep Time, and I always said with Prep Time, Ben Grimm could beat anybody else too. You know what I mean? So like, if you give one guy Prep Time and you give another guy no prep, like what? Ben Grimm is stupid. Ben Grimm could figure out how to beat Batman, given enough time to prepare. Spider-Man could come up with enough a way to beat Batman, given enough to how many real superheroes are stupid, So yeah, with Prep Time, X beats Y all the time. So I'm talking, nobody has any prior.
When you're talking about villains wise, I'm going to say the Batman Beyond had the better villains.
Yeah, I agree.
Because every villain that you see with 2099 is kind of a takeoff of old villains. Like Cornstone is basically a type of Venom, and then you have Vulture 2099, which is a takeoff of Vulture, and then you have Hobgoblin, which is again, and then Flip Spider, which is some of these are just stupid. Silvermane, that one I thought was pretty neat. That's the guy that's just got his head.
Right. Yeah, Silvermane, if he existed in Peter Parker's time, he was like a mafia don.
Right.
Right. And didn't he end up getting he's so old that he started to wear an exoskeleton, and then
I would say Tyler Stone's probably going to be the big one. He's the one that's over he was the Spider-Man's boss.
Yeah, he was like the CEO of Alchemex or something.
Yeah, he was the CEO of the company and everything like that. So I think he's going to be one. Risque. Magnus, Halloween Jack.
Halloween Jack is my favorite. That was
I liked Halloween Jack.
Yeah.
But everything that I'm seeing, they're all just takeoffs of the original characters. There's nothing except for a couple. There's nothing new. There's not a new villain.
I will say this. I'm going to take down this for a second. That usually I'm not a fan of when they just take another character and slap out another version of them.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm not going nuts for Absolute Batman because I'm like, well, why don't you just make Batman comics good? Make Batman comics good. Why make it?
You did hear what's happening next year, right?
What's happening next year?
Okay, Rob's going back to Youngblood.
Right.
Jim Lee and Scott Lobdell's taking over Batman.
Right.
And I believe there was another one that was going to come back up. I think Mark is looking at bringing back Cyberforce.
Yes.
So there is I would say there's kind of a shift or flip, like they flipped a switch saying we got to reset.
Yeah, we got to get salesy. Oh yeah, sales matter.
Yeah.
Funny.
Well, that's the main thing because November we're going to have. Oh God, I can't wait to see those numbers. But I can tell you right now, it's going to be a mess. But yeah, the numbers that are going to come in probably in November on this quarter is going to be bad. Not as bad as last quarter, but this quarter is going to be. There's a mix. There's a mix, and on that, so that's all I'm going to say until I actually see the numbers. But I got a feeling the numbers are not going to be that good.
Oh, you got the quarterly sales for comics?
No, I have the quarterly sales for Warner Brothers.
Oh, okay.
So I can get everything from DC Comics. I can see everything.
Oh, I want to give this a shout out. So this is our commercial break right here. I'm going to put this link in the chat. My buddy Brian Bow is launching Wolf and Batsy. So
yes. Go back that up. I have every issue. I just don't have the new one, but I've got all of them. Great. And as a horror author, these are fun books. Books.
I backed. I think I'm backer number 2. As soon as I got the message, I backed. So I have no problem. He's one of my buddies, and I love the comic. So if I could just figure out, I got so many tabs open. Okay, I'm gonna make this big, and I'm gonna play his trailer. That
Very
looks
good.
so cool. That looks so cool. So
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back it.
Alpha Red, what's up? We're doing its clobbering time, but Brian Bow just launched issue 13 of Wolf and Batsy, so he's my buddy. I think I was the number 2 backer. So go to Kickstarter, check it out. If you missed any of the comics, you could get backup tiers. I love, I love Wolf and Batsy. I went and I got his old stuff. I got his new stuff. I got multiple copies of his comics that I give out to people. I'm a big Wolf and Batsy supporter. So there you go. Again, anybody want to pop in to the chat itself? Anybody want to come in and talk to us as we talk about whatchamacallit, Batman Beyond versus Spider-Man 2099. So as I was saying before, I remembered, I'm not a big fan of when they take an existing character and make different versions of them, like to a certain extent. But I do think Batman Beyond was a well done, well thought out, distinct character, and it kind of fit because it was in the future. So that didn't really bother me. It was a futuristic version of Batman. Same with 2099 Spider-Man, because it was the replacement for Parker. They existed at the same time, but like I don't like Miles Morales because they're both on the planet on the same time. That kind of stuff.
I don't understand why they made Miles Morales in the first place.
Oh, I'll tell you why.
I mean, I know why, the DEI thing, but I'm just like
not even that. That's the excuse that they tell you. It's because the Ditko estate was threatening a lawsuit.
That's right.
So they didn't know which way the wind was going to blow. So they were going
to replace everybody, just like what they were doing with Superman over in DC with Schumer, because they're changing his outfit up.
Right. So
they got rid of the tights.
They were preparing to lose Spider-Man. So I always called Miles Morales Scab Spider-Man or Spider Scab.
I just call him Miles Morales.
Pasted on.
I just call him Miles Morales, and that's all I do.
Well, that's what anybody else comes.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things.
Common thread between these two is strong writing. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the whole point. That's the whole point with these books. You had strong writing, you had strong artists, and you put them together. And this is what I've always said about comic books. If you have a good artist and a good writer that produces a good book, you've got a good selling book. But the problem is right now is, and I'm gonna use a book, the new Witchblade book. Writing's okay. Artwork sucks.
Witchblade?
Yeah, the new one. If you haven't seen the new one, it's basically retelling the original, but they've changed the story up some. The problem is the interior artwork is just not that good. It's not. I mean, when you're going up against something like what Michael Turner, Joe Benitez, those guys did, and you're bringing this guy in, and it's a whole different ballgame. Hey, James.
Hey, John. How are you?
Pretty good. How's everybody? Oh, wow.
Good.
I'll have to change my name to James. I just realized.
You're outnumbered, John.
Yeah, I'm outnumbered.
No, this is my drawing spot. Corner of my living room. I sit here and I draw.
So as the newcomer, who's your betting odds? Batman Beyond or Spider-Man 2099? Who's your champion?
Man, My champion would. I'm Spider-Man, and I'm Spider-Man all the way. But probably Batman Beyond, just because Batman Beyond's got all the gadgets and all the
So
stuff.
you like Spider-Man 2099 better, but you think Batman Beyond would win it in a fight?
Only because I'm not familiar with Batman Beyond. I never got into the cartoon. It's not something that I mean, I was chasing girls. That was like the season in life I was in. It was just behind me. So I had not a lot of love for it. That's all.
But what we were just saying is Mike's Total Dragon channel brought up the common thread between these two characters is great writing. We had Peter David writing the comic. I don't know. Was there ever did he ever show up in a cartoon? I don't even know.
Which one?
Spider-Man 2099.
Yes, he did show up in the cartoon.
The Spider-Verse stuff.
Yeah, Spider-Verse. He finally showed up in the Spider-Verse.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was thinking like a 90s cartoon like Batman Beyond.
Yeah, no, there was they did a 90s cartoon, but it was basically shooting Peter Parker into the future, and he got the he changed the costume to the 2099 costume, but they didn't follow the story of the comic book.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. No,
yeah.
Cool.
All right, so we talked a little bit like Spider-Man 2099, like you said, he had derivative villains, which I find that's just lazy to do. Like, we got Vulture 2099, we got Electro 2020, but his main villain was the CEO of Alchemex, which is the evil corporation. Like if in all comic books, there's always an evil senator, there's always an evil corporation, an evil creature, and an evil businessman.
Right.
Yeah, but maybe that's true in real life. Like the rich, like the people who benefit from stuff, become evil. You get all the money, you get all the power, you just become evil, you get corrupted. So it's not too far off, maybe.
And the other thing that made that book so good was he had to hide what he was doing as Spider-Man from the boss that he was working with, who was the big villain of the book also. Right. Which that was really, Peter really was on fire when he was writing that book.
Okay. Yeah, I remember because because he was considered the bad guy, right?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and then once he did that experiment, he ended up being what he is. That changed everything even to more, because now his boss wanted to capture him, but his boss was also the bad guy, and he was trying to hide from the boss. So real complex, well-written stories. I mean, and then rich, artwork. You couldn't ask for anything better.
Yeah.
And I like Rick Leonardi. That's when I got introduced to Rick Leonardi. That was, he's good stuff.
Yeah. Well, see, I had known about him since X-Men, because he did X-Men just before Mark Silvestri took over.
Yeah.
So he was doing Uncanny X-Men for a while. And so once he moved over there, I was like, oh, this is going to be good. And then that first issue came out. And yes, I have the first issue autographed from him. Yes, I do.
So, nice. No, he's got so much energy in his artwork.
He does. He really does.
Yeah, I was told.
And he knew how to draw Spider-Man. That was the thing.
Yeah.
He really knew how to draw him.
Yeah, so dynamic, just like the anatomy, just like he stretched the anatomy, just like he should with Spider-Man.
But, I know I'm going to get laughed at for saying this, but when Leonardi went to Image, what was his comic? What was he famous for?
Oh God,
I couldn't even tell you. I didn't even know. I don't know if I knew that he went to Image. Maybe if James comes up with the name. I don't know.
It wasn't Star. What was it?
Was it Wildstar?
I want to say it was Wild. It might be Wildstar.
Wildstar was.
He did Cloak and Dagger for a while too, right?
Ostrander. Who was Jim Ostrander or something like that? I forget. Wildstar, I remember because I liked it, but it wasn't Rick Leonardi, I don't think.
Yeah, he had a good costume.
I'm gonna look it up. Hold on.
No, that was somebody else. Mike's telling me something. Gordon. Okay, so anyway, let's get focused. So Batman Beyond. What are his typical abilities? So he's Batman.
But he's going to have all the vision because it was in his mask. Yeah. He's going to be able to fly because he had the rocket boots. and he had all the gadgets. But other than that, that's all he had.
Right. But he was a regular human. Like he didn't have superhuman strength. He didn't have
Correct.
superhuman speed.
Correct. He was regular
He didn't
human.
have laser vision. So he was a
Yeah.
normal top level athlete. So he's a Batman Nightwing kind of guy, but with
Yeah.
nanotech suits.
He had Bruce Wayne in his ear. You know,
Right. He had Bruce
I think
Wayne.
that was
Like Oracle. Oh man, I
Yeah.
love Oracle.
No,
Making
it's great.
Barbara Gordon Batgirl again
Yeah.
was de-evolution, if you ask me.
Yep.
So he had a lot of what were some of the typical gadgets? We already said he had the wings.
He could fly. He had the batarangs and stuff like that. So he had pretty much everything that they had with, you know.
Yeah, I think the suit made him strong too.
Yeah,
I think
gave him a little bit more.
Yeah, it gave him
Wow!
Gave him some bulletproof.
You're not going to believe this one.
What?
Rick Leonardo, Batman Beyond, issue 31. He drew it.
Wow.
Okay. So there you go. A little crossover.
So not only did he do 2099, but he did Batman Beyond.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Nice.
So, if I remember correctly, he could also release some sort of like shock from his suit, like he could stun people. Or am I misremembering? But I know Batman. Now I'm confusing myself. Spider-Man 2099. He had an electrical discharge ability, right?
I don't remember. I remember him jumping around.
I remember he had the webs that he could shoot that were organic for him. He didn't have to use webbers.
Yep, like his fingers were
talons.
whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
That's all I remember.
All the stuff
And a cool
Spider-Man
suit.
could do. But all of the Spider-Men had one unique ability, like Miles Morales has that like camouflage ability that
the invisibility. Yeah.
And does Miles Morales have Spidey senses? Is that Peter Parker?
I think he has Spidey sense. I think.
I don't know.
And Jessica Drew she has all the Spider-Man powers, but she also has that like pheromone ability. So poor Peter Parker got gypped of one less power than every other Spider person.
He didn't need it.
He
didn't need it. You know, I think maybe that's the charm of some of these characters is the weaknesses. You know, they overcome the bad guy even with the weaknesses that they have.
So the suit gave him a predator-like invisibility as well. Okay, so I just let's just they're both in the future. So to them it's the present. We don't need to imagine any time travel hijinks to get them together. So they just run it, and now Alchemix puts out an alarm. They got in a break-in, and of course Batman Beyond shows up because remember we did already establish that Spider-Man 2099 was perceived as a villain at first because he was doing corporate sabotage or corporate espionage, whatever the correct.
Correct.
So this is the scenario. So Michael O'Hara is it's kind of funny. I just realized that both future versions are Irish, right? You got Gary McGinnis and
It's racist.
Yeah,
the
future is filled with troublesome Irish people. I don't know. So O'Hara is doing whatever it is he's got to do. Oh, I changed the way James and Batman Beyond swoops in. Neither one of them knows the other one was going to be there. Neither one of them has any prior knowledge, so none of that prep time stuff. Because again, with prep time,
well,
why? And boom, the fight starts. What do you guys think?
First off, Spider-Man 2099 is going to have his sense,
right?
So he's going to know. So he's going to know when Beyond gets there. So I'm going to give him the advantage of first strike. How much?
Spider-Man?
Yeah, Spider-Man is going to have first strike. The thing's going to be is how much damage he can do to the suit that Beyond has, because it does give him some protection against physical attacks.
Correct.
So at that point, if he does enough damage to knock him on the ground, then he can web him and it'll be over quick. If not, McGinnis is going to turn around and get a good shot on him and probably knock him into a wall or something, and then it's going to be a tussle. But that's as far as I'm going to go because I don't know. I couldn't tell you who's going to actually win at the end. I would still think with the webbing, I still think 29.9 is going to have a better advantage to actually tie him up and drop him.
Okay. I don't know.
I'm just staying quiet. I usually stay quiet until other people say.
Yeah.
So I'm done. So
No,
29.9 wins.
Yeah, I'm thinking the technology just kind of overpowers the webs, the agility, all that stuff. I don't see how. I don't know. He can fly around. He's stronger, so strength is a match. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not super familiar with the limitations of Batman Beyond. So, like in my mind, it's a super suit. He's got all kinds of other weapons, and he's fast and he can fly. So that's my thought.
I can't help but like I said, it's Spider-Man is going into Alchemax. He's doing whatever he's doing, exposing the nefarious deeds of this evil corporation. The alarms go off. Terry McGinnis, Batman, he goes swooping in. Boom. They're basically surprising each other. You know what I mean? But like you said, he's got spider sense. He checks him out. Terry McGinnis, but keep in mind they're both good guys. You know what I mean? Even though they think Spider-Man is the bad guy, Batman thinks Spider-Man is the bad guy. I see Michael, or I'm just gonna say Spider-Man and Batman. We know we're talking about the future versions. So Spider-Man, he's not gonna come out clobbering this guy because he expects some sort of guard. He expects some sort of police officer or maybe another superhero. You know what I mean? So I don't think he's gonna.
So you think he's pulling his punches?
Right, because he knows I look like a bad guy right now, and somebody's just doing their job, and I don't blame them. So I could see he's detecting it and webbing, some sort of non-lethal, non-harming maneuver, and I think that's going to be.
You don't think the look of Batman Beyond is going to?
Well, I'm also going with the way he acted in the comic book.
Right.
When he gets into a fight, he doesn't. He remember he never held back because he didn't understand how powerful he truly was.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a different Spider-Man. Yeah.
This is not Parker. This is O'Hara. So right. there's a difference.
It is a nastier world that they live in.
Right, and and when you watch what O'Hara does, he's a lot more aggressive and a lot more physical than Parker is.
So he comes rushing out at Batman Beyond, and I could see him.
I can see him coming.
He's got the strength. He's got the agility, and he's got those unerring senses. I could see him just going, throwing Terry McGinnis to the ground, and then either he's taken off,
or he webs him and then takes off.
Right, and then I could definitely see with this suit that he has and all these extra gadgets, Batman cutting himself out and then sneaking up on him. But I honestly, I know, James, you already said that you see Batman beating. We're talking Bruce Wayne beating Peter Parker. I see Spider-Man beating Batman down 9 times out of 10, and unless Peter Parker's got a cold, my Batman, the way he works in my head, is beating Batman. The
thing about Parker and Batman, if it's a first time meeting, Spider-Man is going to have the advantage.
Right.
But I'm saying if they come back for a second time meeting, Batman's going to be, prepared.
Right. But so now if again, this is bringing up the
but I think in this case in 29.9 and stuff like that, it would be like Batman and say Catwoman fighting and the Joker walk in on them and they're like going, okay, we got to work together. And it would switch to a work together mode instead of fight each other.
Oh, yeah. I'm just talking about like when we say, yeah, Kevin's got my back over here. Like if Batman, we're talking regular, I'm going to say Bruce and Peter for the present, and I'll say Terry and Michael for the future. So Bruce and Peter get together. I like I said, I see Batman just getting clobbered. He's just overpowered.
It's basically if Parker actually hits him. I mean, I'm not talking about play hits him. I'm talking about really packs a punch. He's going to shatter. He's going to shatter Batman's jaw.
Yeah, and I don't.
And he's going to put jaw. He's going to KO him quicker than anything.
I don't see Bruce laying a glove on Peter. You know, I don't care how much he's trained by Shiva. Spider-Man is, like somebody said, he's the most agile guy on the planet. Maybe Nightcrawler could touch him, but Batman ain't getting. And then if the second meeting, now again, if it's Batman stalks Peter Parker and takes him out, that's a different story. But if they both have prior knowledge and they both know they're meeting each other up,
yeah,
too.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, a lot of people don't give Spider-Man the credit he deserves.
Right.
You know, I mean, even in the movies, they don't.
Right.
Know,
they treat him
I like Tom Holland, I really do, but that's not the Spider-Man I want to see. I want to see the Spider-Man who is the genius because he is a genius, and I want to see Spider-Man who, you know, when he gets the suit on, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to do it. I'm going to win, and he does it.
Right.
Yeah.
Not what we've been seeing.
Yeah.
Right.
You would need like a TV show or series to kind of flesh out the geniusness of him. I think it's too hard to do it all in a movie, you know, and show how smart he is. And you're right, like I forget how smart he's supposed to be because he's just, you know, he's got the Spider-Man-ness of him. He's not the genius Peter Parker.
Yeah.
I guess I'm old school because I like my Batman, the stealthy detective, more than the ass kicking.
Oh, I like the Dan O'Bannon Batman.
Yeah, I'm going with Peter 9 times out of 10 over Bruce. Now I'm going to switch it to the future. I'm going to say in the first instance of them, Michael O'Hara is going to beat the crap out of Terry.
Yeah.
Terry's not going to understand what's happening to him. You know, he's got the internal powers. He's got the fierceness. He's got these claws. And if I remember correctly, wasn't he like battling some sort of like bestial call to horror of his own powers?
I don't remember. I know in Arachnus. Now I know the Ortiz brothers Arachnus. There was another entity with him.
Right.
You know, but that's a whole different character. If we go with Arachnus, that's a whole different ballgame.
So now, I would say that poor Terry he doesn't know what he got into, but I will say on the second encounter, Terry's smarter and a strategist. Well, I don't think Michael O'Hara was ever really established as the genius that Peter Parker was. So I would say
I have to disagree with you on that.
Okay.
Because Terry's not the genius. Remember, he's always going to Bruce.
But he's got the genius in his ear.
Yeah, but O'Hara is the genius scientist at the labs.
Okay.
You remember, because he's doing the experiments that end up turning him into Spider-Man.
I don't remember that. I mean,
in the first issue, if you watch it, in the first issue of the book, he's actually he's brilliant, and he gets in that.
I forgot about. Like I remember him working there, but I don't remember him being the.
He was extremely smart.
Oh, so that would change things. So, you know, like
that's what I'm saying. There's you know, for me, I would say if we were going to do a fair one-on-one with Batman Beyond, would either be Doom 2099 or Punisher 2099. Would be more with, but Spider-Man's on his own, you know, on his own level.
Mm.
Because I mean, Spider-Man 2099. I mean, I'll put it like this: Peter David, when they created Spider-Man 2099, they did one hell of a job creating the character.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, hands down, he was great. That was the best 2099 comic book out of the whole group.
Well, first off, saying it was the best 2099 is damning it with faint praise. But I bought it reluctantly in like a dollar bin. Just like, all right, I'll get it in a dollar. And I'll tell you, man, I was really pleased.
I bought it the day it came out on the stand.
Yeah,
I mean, I was buying them on the stand. When they first came out, I was like, I'm getting all of them. And then I opened up that book and I was like going, oh yeah, I'm buying this. I have the whole run of Spider-Man 2099. The whole thing. And I've got several of them autographed by Leonardi.
Yeah.
What year did 2099 come out?
97, 96.
Yes, that was
Okay.
my 4
Then-
years, so I didn't get it when it came out.
Yeah, no. So that
I think
was when I was.
96, 97 is when it came out.
Yeah.
But
So
and I remember they made a big deal out of it. And the thing was, Spider-Man lived up to it. The
Yeah.
Doom lived up
Oh,
to it
for
for a
sure.
while, but the rest
Yeah.
of them did not, you know, did not live up to the expectations, especially the X-Men. The X-Men was just terrible.
I don't even remember the X-Men.
Yeah, X-Men 2099 was just terrible. I was like,
Yeah.
oh no.
And then Stan Lee's Ravage
Right.
2099.
That was forgettable.
Yeah,
And I'll say this about Doom. Doom started off good because it was actually Von Doom.
Right. He
Oh.
was
It
time
was,
traveler.
it was still the same guy.
Yeah.
It was just something happened and he ended up in the future. But Spider-Man was the one that really set everything off. I mean,
Yeah.
they really put that together good. I mean,
Yeah.
really good.
I was working at the comic book store then. I worked at the comic book store for 4 years, and that was, I want to say from
I'll tell you what it really reminded me of.
95 to 2000 almost.
Spider-Man 2099 reminded me of Bubblegum Crisis.
I never read
Have you
that.
ever watched the anime of Bubblegum Crisis?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
The anime of Bubblegum Crisis is probably one of the best Blade Runner type animes, Shadow, the whole thing like that. But it fit right there with Bubblegum Crisis. And I was like going, oh, the drawings, everything that they did, how they did it, I was like, just could have fit right in with Bubblegum Crisis, and stuff like that. So that was the one that caught me by surprise because the buildings and everything, the way the police were dressed, the hover bikes they had, everything. It looked like they had used a lot. Basically, I guess Peter David was watching Bubblegum Crisis and he was like going, I'm going to use this and put Spider-Man in it and we'll go with that. And bam, there it is.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I completely forgot that Michael was the scientist. I remember him working in the labs, but I don't remember him being.
Yeah, he was the scientist. Yeah, he was the guy behind the whole thing.
Yeah, so
I forget what he was trying to do,
if that's the
but
case.
but he used himself as the experiment, and it something happened, and he became like the Spider-Man type character.
So I don't see, like, just like the past, what we do in the past echoes for eternity. Then Spider-Man always beats Batman, guys. I'm sorry. I just don't see Spider-Man is a super powerful character. Like he's got the strength.
He's underrated. That's the problem. Spider-Man is so underrated.
Oh, underrated. I thought you said overrated. Yeah, he's very
underrated. I know you probably have the book, but you remember when Spider-Man punched the Hulk so hard he put him into orbit?
Spider-Man
punched the Hulk so hard
what was that when
that
he
he
had
put him into orbit.
There has to be extenuating circumstances. I don't think a 10-ton guy is going to punch a Hulk into orbit. What was he, the Herald of Galactus at the time, or Fire Lord?
I think he had gotten that universal power.
Oh yeah, he was Captain Universe at the time. Yeah,
and he hauled off and just knocked the living hell out of the Hulk.
Yeah, that's like saying Aunt May was the Herald of Galactus at one point, which wasn't a what if. So
no, that's what if.
So guys, I'm gonna we've been going for just about an hour now. Does anybody have any? Well, what do you think, James? I've been talking. What do you think? Who wins, the Spider or the Bat? Oh yeah, that's right. You both changed.
No, like I said, I'm not super familiar. Like, and even the memories that I have about Spider-Man 2099 are they have holes in it. Like I remember like how he got the costume. Like I thought he was more of a street level kind of guy. I didn't even remember that he was a scientist, honestly. So I just thought he was like a brawler or whatever. I thought he was like his chances in my mind was like he's more of a brawler and he would just he'd be more aggressive than the Terry McGinnis character, where the McGinnis character was just like a kind of a wide-eyed young kind of naive kind of guy getting into it. But like if he, like in my mind, up until you guys were talking about how he's a scientist, I still don't remember it. I guess I need to just go back.
So I think
Okay.
we get tricked a lot with Spider-Man because he is the everyman. You know, but if Spider, like again, Superman fights at a much lower level than he is because Superman's like kindness, mercy. Superman is everything that's good, and I think like Captain America, but I think Spider-Man kind of has like more of that like small town every guy thing, even more than Captain America, because you know Captain America went to war and and then it changes you. So I think Spider-Man has that like everyman appeal, like Clark Kent, little guy goes to the city. So Superman doesn't come in brawling and kicking like every Superman comic book would be over, or at least Superman fight would be over in 8 seconds if Superman went full out. Same with Spider-Man. Just there would be the most terrifying thing is okay, Dr. Octopus shows up and then Spider-Man just picks up a city bus and just smash it, which he can
Yeah,
do.
but I think what Parker has in common is common sense of I can't damage
Common sense,
everything.
he has compassion.
I can't I think it's more like I can't damage all this stuff. I can't pay for all this stuff to fix it. And I only got one suit. If I tear my suit up, I'm in trouble too. So I got to be careful of that. So there's that kind of factors in with what he can do. But I really think, when he gets if he ever got really pissed,
it would be scary. Yeah.
I mean, there's that one crossover with him and Superman where he did get really pissed and he hauled off and hit Superman. And the next you know, he's holding his knuckle because he thinks he broke his hand.
Right.
That's just basically, that's basically what would happen if you put Spider. As tough as Spider-Man is, put him against Superman, it's not going to. It's going to be 5 seconds. It's over.
That's an infant fighting an adult.
Yeah.
But
and the other thing about Spider-Man is also, yes, he's smart, but he's still young.
Yeah.
He's not. He is not. I mean, now with the universe with him and Mary Jane and kids, he's older, but he's still. If you go back and look at the comic books, he's still late 20s, early 30s, at the most. So he's not really that old.
Right. So given that Michael O'Hara is more vicious, and I just have to give it to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
Yep.
And his enemy owns a newspaper. I'm still. This is the hill that I'll die on. That J. Jonah Jameson is a supervillain. J. Jonah Jameson financed The Fly. He financed Scorpion.
I'll tell you who J. Jonah Jameson is.
Rhino. Who?
J. Jonah Jameson is the one above all. Now that would be a twist if he really was.
He's supposed to be like a stand-in for Stanley. So I don't know. Does anybody disagree with me? I'm on Team Spider for both the past and the present, or the present and the future.
We're all on Spider. We all are.
Well, James Alpha Red over here, Jimmy Alpha. Are you switching? Are you sticking with the?
My lack of knowledge of the limitations of the Batman Beyond would just say like the technology just wins. But I don't know. You take the character underneath the technology, and maybe that takes it out of the contender that I think he is. Okay. But I don't. And I had not thought about Peter Parker versus Bruce Wayne, Batman, Spider-Man.
I don't even think it's close.
I understand the power, but still, like I just have this respect for Batman.
Oh yeah, I
love
love
respect for Batman.
Superman,
respect for Batman, yes, but I'm talking about he coming in, Spider-Man coming in right on the spot. You didn't even expect him to be there. Both of them. Yeah. I'm going to give it to Spider-Man.
I guess maybe that's the part that I struggle with. Like Batman would just kind of know, like his opponent. Like Batman knows his opponents. He knows who he's coming up against.
Like
what
are
the possibilities?
Like, are they transported? Like, do they exist on the same world? So Batman has previous knowledge and blah blah blah.
Before he engages,
does Batman walk around with an anti-spider sense thing in his utility belt in case? You know what I mean? So, but anyway, I'm calling it for Spider-Man. I'm calling it for.
Hey,
the more important question is:
I like.
Do you guys have any?
I don't mind. I don't mind.
Do you guys have any ideas for next week? It's clobbering time.
Oh yes, I do.
Okay,
I've
it's
got a
based
good
on-
one. I've got a really good one. Superman versus what's his name? Gladiator.
Superman versus
Oh.
Gladiator.
Yeah.
Oh, the Kree guy.
Yeah.
Is he Kree or whatever? The Galactic
No,
guy?
he's the big guy, Mohawk.
Mohawk.
Yeah, he's got the Mohawk. He's basically he's basically Marvel's version of Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's
Yeah.
if you
Well,
really want to
Marvel
look,
has a bunch of Supermans. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. That one comes up a lot. I've been reluctant to.
no, I mean on that one, because the motivation of the two is one, and then I don't even think they would fight.
Are you kidding me? Gladiator would fight. He would love to fight.
No, he's talking about Joker and the Green Goblin.
Oh, Joker and Green Goblin. I hate Joker, so I'm automatically going for the other guy, no matter what. You could say
No.
Joker versus Aunt May. I'm
Oh no, Gladiator versus, because I've got the book of Gladiator versus Supreme, and that's a banger. I mean, they beat the living hell out of it. Yeah, Gladiator versus Supreme. There's actually a comic book.
Oh,
That-
wow.
And basically what Supreme does is he's like, okay, we're going to end this because we'll destroy everything, and he just basically just lays down like he got knocked out, and then Gladiator flies off.
All right, so So next week we'll do Superman versus Gladiator, and anybody want to pitch anything? Anybody have any links?
Ooh, Superman versus Century.
Yeah, Supreme versus Century. That
Yeah, Supreme versus Century. That'd be a good one too.
James, you got it.
Oh yeah, I still have my
Give a
my
shout out.
crowdfunder still going on all 3 platforms. You can go to the alpharedcomic.com and that'll take you to the Kickstarter, and that's the busiest one. That's the highest moving one. But I'm also on Indiegogo. You can go to jamesq.net for the Indiegogo, and you can go to shopalphared.com, and that'll take you to Fund My Comic. But
Okay.
it could all be doing better, but
So Alpha Red is on Kickstarter, Alpha Red is on Indiegogo, and Alpha Red is on Fund My Comics. So if you go to any
Correct.
of those sites and look for Alpha Red, you're not shadow banned or anything. I know Fund My Comic doesn't shadow ban anybody.
No, but Indiegogo is bad.
And James Lee, do you have any links or anything you want to throw?
Yeah, if you want to find out where my horror novels are and everything like that, go to www.thevonsteins.com and try below my name. Now my crowdfunder is done. We're just waiting for Dawn at Jaws to finish up coloring everything, and then we'll be going to print, and I'll be shipping everything out.
Cool. And I'm printing my comics as I speak. So if you go to Fund My Comic and back, or I hope you go to Indiegogo, because I just want to get that above the $500 level. If you go on Indiegogo and you back my comic, you'll probably get the comic before the campaign even finishes. So how many people can boast that? But I'm going to go because my buddy Brian Bow, he's launching his comic now, and I want to go over and help him. I mean, usually I'll talk all night talking this, but I got to help buddies out. You know what I mean?
This is fun.
We all got to grab one. Yeah, every Friday, usually around 8:00, I do It's Clobbering time.
Okay.
I put the invite out in on the links and everything, and pop in because I don't want it would be embarrassing to do this by myself.
I'll try to make it next week.
The more the merrier. All right.
Yep.
See you guys.
Because I should have
All right,
my
guys.
new cover finished.
Okay, cool. See you guys. Bye-bye.
All right, John.
Bye-bye.